Okay, on the back side, we are going to solve some equations that we haven't done before. First one, we have x to the fourth power, so we haven't done one of those yet. And you just notice that there's only a single x term here. So that means what you're going to do is you're going to get rid of all the numbers that are around it, any operation around it, and you're going to do the power last. Okay? Because remember on the please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, parentheses and exponents are last. We don't have any parentheses, so we're going to do the exponent last. So we're going to add the 2, which gets you 162. Then we have to undo the multiplication next. So that's x to the fourth equals 81. And now we get rid of the exponent. So the opposite of taking something to the fourth power would be the fourth root. So this is the fourth root of 81. And then on your calculator, you can enter that one of two ways, unless you just know. Some of you should know that the fourth root of 81 is 3, and technically there should be a plus or minus out in front of this. So this is plus or minus 3. So let's see how we can do the fourth root on the calculator. So on the calculator, we can do the fourth root by doing 81 to the power, and remember the fourth root is the 1/4 power. So you can enter it this way, and you see you get 3 as your answer. Or your other option is to go to enter the 4 first, and then go to math, and under math, option number 5 there is the x root. So that represents the fourth root, and then we can do 81, hit enter, and you get 3. So that's two ways of finding it on your calculator. Okay. So then on number 2, again, we're going to do the power last, so that means we're going to have to add 5 first, so that's 4x cubed equals 32. Get rid of the multiplication next, x cubed equals 8. And then to get rid of a third power, u cubed root, which would be the cubed root of 8. Since it's a cube root, we don't need a plus or minus, and that equals 2. Okay. Or again, you could do that on your calculator. Okay. On number 3, here we have a slight issue. We're trying to find x, and it would be great if that radical wasn't there. So how to get rid of a square root? That would be squaring. So you're going to square this side, and you're going to square that side. So on the left-hand side, those cancel, and you're left with x plus 1. On the right-hand side, that's actually x plus 1 times x plus 1. So we're going to have to FOIL that out. So the left is x plus 1. On the right-hand side, it's x squared. Your outers and inners are both 1x, which gets you 2x. And then your last term's plus 1. Okay. Looks like we have a quadratic since we have an x squared there and we have x's there. Okay, so we have to set this equal to 0. So 0 equals x squared. Subtract the x, you get plus 1x. Subtract the 1 from each side, and the 1 cancels. So now, if this factors, we should factor it. Looks like there is a greatest common factor of x, which leaves you with something plus something. So that's x plus 1. And now either this or this equals 0, so that means x could equal 0, or in this case, x could equal -1. Since this is a square root here, we have to make sure that both of these work, so you can plug them back in. If you plug in 0, this is the square root of 1 plus 1. I'm sorry, this is the square root of 1, because it's, sorry, let's just do it over here. You get square root of 0 plus 1 equals 0 plus 1. So that's 1 equals 1. So that one's true. And then if you plug in the -1, you get square root of 0, you get -1 plus 1 and the square root of that, which equals -1 plus 1. So that gets you 0 equals 0, which is also true. Okay, so both of those work. Let's do one more of those. Over here on number 4, we again are going to get rid of the exponent last. So this is x to the 1/4 equals -1. Now, to bring a power to the other side, you actually do the reciprocal power. So this is 4 over 1, or just the fourth power. You flip the power to bring it to the other side. And if you think about it, when we were doing a square root of x equals 3, square root is actually the 1/2 power equaling 3. And we know to undo a square root, you square. So that's why this equals 3 squared. You just do the reciprocal power. So you get the same answer either way. Okay? In this case, x down here would be 9. Okay? So up here, -1 to the 4th power, x equals +1. But if you plug that back in here, 1 to the 4th power, 1 to any power gets you 1, plus 1 does definitely not equal 0. So that is what we call an extraneous solution. It's a solution that does not satisfy the original equation. So in this case, since that was our only option, there would be no solution to this problem. Okay? You could actually tell that from this step as well, because on this step here, the 1/4 power is the 4th root, and the 4th root has to get you a positive value. And since this is a negative, that has to be no solution right off the bat. Okay? So that's solving.